and welcome back to another AEW predictions video. We are Alan Presents. I am Alan, this is Leanne.
Hello.
We are going to outline the upcoming, this evening's event, Full Gear of 2021, if you're watching this in the future, or in the past, who knows, maybe you're time traveling, you've gone forward in time and you want to see what's going on. So we're just going to sort of jump straight into it. We're not going to give much of a background. We'll sort of cover the card, as it were, because AEW's got such a deep and diverse roster that they can't really have everyone on the card at the same time, because the event will probably be 3 days long, because there's so many great talents, like, you know, just Dante Martins of late. He's had some really great matches, and just to sort of outline one of the talents. But if we sat here all day sort of talking about all of the talent, we wouldn't be able to cover the card.
Nope.
So we've got 9 matches on the main card and 1 match on the buy-in event. The buy-in's only half hour long.
Okay.
Which is interesting. They're usually an hour and they do a bit of padding and fluff pieces and whatnot. But I guess because of the
they're doing the countdown.
The countdown shows. I mean, they've done them in the past, where they still have the hour-long pre-show.
Maybe they felt there was too much repetition. And...
Maybe. I think so, yeah. I mean, WWE tends to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Again, not to sort of off the roads, going on to another company, but WWE tends to do that with their pre-shows. They have a 10-15-minute match max, including the entrances, and then 45 minutes of it is the build-up, which, okay, for people who only watch on a pay-per-view to pay-per-view basis, fair enough. For someone who wants to sort of jump in at a starting point, fair enough. But I would do that as a separate show, like AEW are doing.
Yeah.
You know, have a countdown show. Have this is what's happened previously, and then the buy-in just goes, hey, this is a warm-up match. This is to get your appetite wet for the main event.
Yeah, I think you're more likely to get more people tuning in if it's just quite a short thing that's just warming up, literally. And that's
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people on YouTube do tend to sort of click on something, go, 2 minutes in, click off.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. The nature of YouTube. There's so much content. There's probably hundreds of millions or even billions of videos on. I don't know what the actual count of video on YouTube is, but it's really difficult to get someone's attention for a full hour if you're only playing stuff that's previously happened a month ago or 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever. So. First up then, we got the buy-in match, which is a tag team match with the women's division. We've got Nyla, Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru, Shida and Thunder Rosa. Now, all of these women in this match are quarter-finalists in the TBS inaugural championship tournament that they're currently running. One thing that strikes me as odd about this is that the quarterfinals have 8 competitors. Why is there only 4 of them in this match? Or why is there only 1 match? So we've got, obviously, Nyla Rose, Jamie Hayter, we've got Hikaru, Shida, and Thunder Rosa. The other 4 competitors are Red Velvet, there's, Jade Cargill, I can't read my writing there, Chris Statlander, and Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho made her debut last pay-per-view in the Casino Battle Royale.
Yes.
And they're not using her in this pay-per-view, which I find a bit odd.
Yeah.
Because she's a big draw, you know.
Like you say, there's so much big talent that you just can't fit everyone in.
Why not put... So, obviously, each one of these has a match. So, I think it's Ruby's fighting... Oh, God, I can't remember who's fighting who, actually. I know that Jade's fighting Velvet.
Yes.
I think Nyla's fighting Hikaru. I want to say Jamie's fighting Thunder Rosa and Ruby's fighting Chris Statlander, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I could have a couple of mixed up. So why not have all of the bracket, competitor A versus competitor B, in each of the brackets, Team A and Team B, 4 versus 4. That would have worked. Still would have fitted in the half-hour bracket, or as you make them shorter matches, 2 15-minute matches.
Yeah.
You know, that would have worked. I don't know. It's a weird choice.
I'm sure they have their reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, there's not really much else to say about that. I mean, they said all the 4 women in this match are in the TBS tournament. They're not fighting each other in their respective matches, as far as I can remember. But yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who is the inaugural TBS champion.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they're crowning that on the first Dynamite show on TBS in January.
I imagine so. That would make sense.
It would be a bit weird if they didn't. Okay, so on the buying match then, who have you got, Leanne? So you got Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru, Shida and Thunder Rosa.
I want to say Shida and Rosa to win.
Yeah, I think I agree with that one.
I mean, out of the two teams, they're definitely the team of favourites.
Yeah.
For the faces.
I think the biggest issue is with Jamie Hayter. She's obviously in Britt Baker's camp. If Rebel's out there, that could be an issue.
Very true, yeah.
And obviously we've got Vicky Guerrero, who's going to most likely accompany Nyla Rose.
Yeah, so there could be shenanigans.
Yeah, and Hikaru, Shida, and Thunder Rosa don't have anyone in their corner, you know? Unless possibly you could have some of the other girls make an appearance in this.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that.
You know, maybe Ruby Soho will run down and be like, well, actually, you know what, Vicky, or you know what, Rebel, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah, we'll be interesting to see where that goes. Usually the buy-in matches tend to be fluff pieces, I guess, but the AEW ones tend to be really solid.
Yes.
I don't think I've got my notes here from the previous AEW show. So I think this is a different book. Yeah, it's not on this one, but I know there have been some really great buy-in matches.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Anyway, so on to the main event then. So again, like previous videos, these aren't in the specific order that they are going to air on the show. I've put the title matches at the end because they hold the most weight, and I've just sort of randomly put the other matches in an order because they have to be in some sort of order.
Yes.
So first up, we have a Falls Count Anywhere match between Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus teaming up against the Super Clique. That's the Young Bucks and Adam Cole.
Baby.
You know it's all about the...
Boom.
There we go. Adam Cole. It's been interesting to see Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
Has come over to AEW.
Yeah, they've had some nice moments with Adam Cole.
And obviously Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm. You've got the announce team just weaving in the word undisputed.
Yeah, they've got an undisputed friendship. They've got undisputed talent. It's like...
that just can't be disputed.
But then I came up with the idea, didn't I? If Kyle O'Reilly jumps ship when his contract expires, which the rumour is expiring soon, if he jumps ship to AEW as well, could he be folded into it? Yeah. And then we'd have the Undisputed Super Clique? Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Or the Undisputed Elite?
They're just getting... that faction is getting so many... like mini factions in it.
It's always been the same. Always been the same. Even in New Japan with the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
With the Elite, as soon as they set the Elite in, that was it. They started just Super Clique and the gold. Was it the Golden Elite?
Yeah.
It was Kenny and what's his name? I can't remember his name. Kota Ibushi. But yeah, that's always been the sort of thing.
It's cool.
There's been obviously a lot of tension between these two teams.
Yeah.
Since Adam Cole made his debut at the last pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
At my mind's just run blank today. What was the last pay-per-view called? I can't remember. All Out. All Out. So Adam Cole made his debut at the end of All Out after Kenny Omega retained his title. Mm-hmm. Everyone thought, is Adam Cole coming down to challenge Kenny Omega? And nope, he's part of the Elite. He super kicked Jungle Boy, and that's where this whole thing started. Come from. They obviously had a one-on-one match in which Adam Cole just absolutely crucified him because Adam Cole is one of the best.
Yeah.
And it's sort of this turned into this bit of a 6-man rivalry, as it were, or like a 7-on-3, I guess you'd call it. Marcus Stunt doesn't really count because he's like Frodo Baggins. He's just a little guy there, just standing on the sidelines.
He hasn't really been taking part in it.
No. I haven't seen him wrestle for a while. Thinking about that.
Hope he's alright.
Let's look into that. But then we had this brawl on, I want to say Dynamite week before last, and it just turned into a bit of all-out chaos, and there was people getting slammed everywhere, and speared, and kill switched, and
thrown off things.
Thrown off the stage, and that was pretty cool.
It was cool.
And I think that's what's merited this sort of Falls Count Anywhere stipulation.
Yes.
Where anything is going to happen. There's no disqualifications. There's no count outs. Literally Falls Count Anywhere. You could be in the middle of the street and they could pin someone and the referee would have to count out. And I kind of... The problem with the Falls Count Anywhere matches is that back in the Attitude Era, they would do that.
Yeah.
Again,
go out into the parking lot.
Sort of going back to sort of WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it now. There was a very particular match which is always sort of highly rated. Like Al Snow and I want to say it was Steve Blackman. And they ended up fighting in the Hudson River in the middle of February, where it's going to be Baltic.
Yeah.
But that was such an amazing match that it sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something like that sticks with you. And I think that's what they need to start doing with these Falls Count Anywhere matches. Don't have them all the time. And AEW don't have them all the time. But when you do, make them special, make them memorable. Do something that you've not necessarily seen before. You haven't seen for a long time. Like, oh, they're fighting in the crowd. Well, you see that on like a monthly basis, if not more. Have them fighting in the concession stand. Maybe you see that every couple of months, like Stadium Stampede. That was something different when they were in the
stadium.
yeah, but I mean, it's when they had the residency
Yes.
at Daly's place, and you had the stadium next to it, so they could do that there. But here you can't because there's no stadium attached to the arena where they're going to be in.
No.
But go outside, have a fight in the street. You know, have something very different.
Yeah.
You know, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and don't just have the pinfall back in the ring.
No, that's boring.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so on the back of that then, who have you got winning this match?
This one is, I think, quite hard to call.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the feud has been so back and forth. You've had both teams being dominant at different times.
Yeah.
So I think this is a difficult one. And I love both teams. They're both amazing. This match is going to be awesome.
Potential show stealer, yeah.
I think so. I'm going to lean towards Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Chris.
Is that because that's what you want to happen, or because you literally think it's going to happen?
I think that sways it a bit.
Okay.
But I think that, considering, I think the last sort of bout they had, Jungle Boy's team was on top. It's sort of leaning me towards them winning this.
Yeah.
One.
It's difficult because I really want Super Click to win.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about the Elite. But as you say, the Super Click have gotten the up to men. But then you've still got Nakazawa and you've still got Brandon Cutler to contest with.
Yeah.
Kenny's not going to show, obviously, because he's got a title match. But what about Bobby Fish? You know?
It's such a tough one.
That is a really, really tough one.
But this is what we like. We want tough to call ones.
So I'm going to stick with my boys. I'm going to go for the Super Click.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Super Click. I think the Elite's going to take this one. Okay, next match then is a match that really shouldn't be happening. So they've been having an All Elite Wrestling World Championship Eliminator Full Gear Tournament, I think is the official. So basically they had a tournament of 8 guys who... and it's determined who will be the number one contender for whoever wins or whoever retains or wins the championship before here. And one of the contenders was Jon Moxley. Unfortunately, Jon Moxley has had to, and fair play to him, all credit where it's due, and CM Punk made a thing about this a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite. Jon Moxley's taken it upon himself to check himself into a rehab facility for... I don't want to use abuse because it's not abuse. It's an issue.
It's for alcohol. Yeah.
It's for an issue he's got with alcohol. Not saying it's full blown alcoholism, but I mean, I'd like to think that he's kind of seen where it's going, and he's like, right, no, this needs to stop.
Yeah.
And I kind of, because I don't foresee Moxley being that kind of just going and getting tanked all the time.
It's so hard to tell
It
with
is.
these guys. You just see their persona on screen. You don't know what their private life is like. But now he has a young daughter. And
Yeah. Literally months old, yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that he's recognised that he needs help and he's going to get help. And that's such a tough thing, especially for men, to admit that they need support and something.
And it's and sort of throwing back to that episode of Dynamite a couple of weeks ago, with CM Punk comes to the ring and they're chanting CM Punk. And he's like, no, stop that. There's only one name on you chanting tonight, and that's Moxley, because he's done the right thing. It's a difficult thing. And they even went on to a Punk saying that, look, you know, if you need help, do it. Talk to someone, reach out to someone, text someone, call someone. And we're fully urged as well, if you're watching this and you feel like you're struggling in some aspect, you've got friends, you've got family, there's anonymous sources. A lot of workplaces tend to hold anonymous sort of helplines and things like that. So don't be afraid to reach out. Mental health is an issue. It's a very prevalent issue, especially in the time that we're facing now with COVID. And
reaching out isn't weakness.
No.
Jon Moxley's one of the toughest guys out there, and he did it.
Reaching out is admitting that you need help, and that's a strength, because you're realizing you can't do something on your own and that you need help. Cheesy, but I'm going to throw it back to something I said earlier about Frodo and the Fellowship. He couldn't have done that without Sam.
Very true.
Sam was his mental support.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar thing, and it's something that weaves back through time. No matter how you look at it, everyone has support from someone. Yeah, everyone has someone that they can lean on. Going back to sort of Julius Caesar. he had his generals which he relied on for help, and his
betrayed him.
His close one. Well, yeah, but what I'm getting at is, like, through history, Alexander the Great, he took over half the world. He still had his confidences. He was gay, and hardly anyone knew it at the time. But he had people he confided in.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not weakness, it's strength. If you need help, reach out. Anyway.
Back to the other
So, Moxley originally defeated Alan Angels, number 10 of the Dark Order. Was it Alan Angels? Or was it Reynolds? Oh, God, I can't remember.
Number 10.
Number 10.
It just goes by 10.
I know, yeah, number 10. No, Alan Angels is number 5.
I don't think they haven't used his name for a long time.
They haven't.
It's just 10.
Number 10. So they defeated number 10 in the Dark Order. And he obviously qualified to go through. And it was supposed to be Orange Cassidy. It was Orange Cassidy was supposed to fight Jon Moxley. Unfortunately, as we already stated, Jon Moxley is currently in a rehab center, and we do hope he's doing well. But in his place, and I think this is the right choice, because he's been So, Miro lost the TNT Championship to Sammy Guevara about a month ago, I believe it was, on Dynamite. And he's been having these quite dark-toned promos since.
Really intense.
Yeah. Where he's like, has my God betrayed me? I'm God's favourite champion. Has he forsaken me? Will he forgive me for losing that championship? That kind of, and it's been, as you said, really intense. And then he's sort of referencing his
saying you can't go home to his wife.
Yeah. And then he's saying that I need to do it for her, and I'm convinced that she's going to show up sooner or later at AEW.
If not as part of the roster, in the audience for sure.
Absolutely. And she has dyed her hair brunette recently as well. And it actually looks pretty decent on, to be fair. So, but he replaced Jon Moxley in the tournament. He steamrolled over Orange Cassidy pretty much.
Yeah.
And Bryan Danielson.
It's all right. The announce team did it
CM
wrong.
Punk did it as well. Yeah, it's fine. So Bryan Danielson is the other finalist, leading us to the match at Full Gear. Is Miro versus Bryan Danielson. Oh my God, Bryan Danielson. In the World Championship Eliminator Finals match. So, Daniel Bryan, to be fair, since he's come to AEW... oh, for God's sake. Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson. Right. Ever since he's come to AEW, he's been fantastic. He has noted before in the past that when he was... Again, I don't want to turn this into a WWE crapping all over WWE, but Vince held him down because of his neck injury. He had to retire for a neck injury. He got cleared by doctors. He came back, but Vince was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Very much coddling him.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, the athlete knows their limits.
And the doctors know. And if they cleared him and he was confident to do things, he should have been allowed to do them.
And I think that I've never been a massive fan, and I'm saying it right this time, of Daniel Bryan. Never really liked him too much, because I don't know, I feel his gimmick in WWE was a bit naff.
Yeah, it was.
But in AEW, he's gone back to his indie persona, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon.
Yeah.
And he's hard-hitting, he's a proper technical wrestler, and he's been great ever since that. And even his promos, he's throwing little S-bombs here and there, and he's like, I don't care about this, and it's like, whoa, okay, I can get behind this kind of, this Bryan Danielson, this I can get behind.
Yeah,
you know?
He's more relatable now.
Yeah. And then, so you've got him in one corner, the hard-hitting, the striking, the mat wrestling. But then on the opposite side, you've got a brick wall known as Miro. And, like, to be fair, since he's come over to AEW from the other place, he's toned up, he's bulked up, and he's been super aggressive.
Yeah.
Especially since losing that TNT title. Yeah. That match with Orange Cassidy's thrown him around like a friggin' ragdoll. You know? And this is going to be a tough match for Bryan Danielson.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's going to be a damn good match.
I think so too.
You know?
Have we seen those two?
I want to say they probably fought in WWE.
Yeah. But that was both with very different personas.
But nothing stands out in my mind as a oh, I remember that match.
But with their sort of not new styles, but sort of adapted styles, I suppose. I think it'll be interesting because they're very different, but they're both such good talents that they'll be able to work with each other in a way that makes it look amazing, I'm sure.
I hope so.
And I think this is going to be a tough one to call as well.
So on the back of that comment, who have you got?
it's another really tough one. I think that... Oh, it's really tough. Oh, it's hard.
So I'm not going to give mine because I don't want to influence Leanne. Leanne's easily influenced with stuff like this. Yeah. So I don't give my predictions until Leanne's given
Especially because I know he knows more about this stuff anyways.
Well, I see... Yeah, go on. I don't want to say anything until... So yeah, Miro versus Bryan Danielson. And bear in mind, the winner of this gets an AEW championship match.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Miro.
Okay.
Because with his promos at the moment, where it's all very much, he wants to earn God's forgiveness by winning the championship. There's more that they can do with it if he's got a run up to a championship match. Mm-hmm. Danielson, I think, could win it, but I think there's other avenues that he can go down. There's other feuds that he's got going at the moment that could probably be explored more before he gets into the title picture fully. Yes.
I'm in a bit of a bind with this one because I feel that this match will very heavily influence the actual title match. Mm-hmm. If Miro wins, are they going to put Miro against a heel Kenny Omega? If Bryan Danielson wins, are they going to put him in against a face Adam Page?
Yeah. I don't know. With AEW, I think that they're not so much hooked on face versus heel all the time. So there's more of anything.
A bit more of a grey area. But I don't know. I still feel that it's going to go around that way. So on the back of that, then, I'm going to go for Bryan Danielson.
Oh. Going opposites again.
Think about this, right? Think about Miro losing, right? Yeah. And then, oh, God's forsaken me. I can't go home to my wife. And then his wife turns up. Mm-hmm. And she just goes off the rails on him. You're a failure. You're a disgrace. I'm here to set you straight. And that's how you bring her in.
Yeah.
And then she's like just going nuts at him every time he loses or every time he does something wrong. And it kind of focuses that aggression. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have this character building kind of thing from there.
Do you think she'll be Russian again?
No. No, I think they'll stick with the American, because she's obviously American.
Yeah.
CJ Perry, she's not Russian at all. You know.
Cool. Good. Especially because she's not blonde anymore. I think that was part of the thing of being Russian.
I think so. Cool. Okay, next up then, we've got Darby Allin versus your favourite, Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
You always say the worst people are my favourites.
Because I get a reaction out of you every single time.
But he's awful because his character is awful. He is great at being awful.
Did you see there was an exchange with him and his parents on Twitter about a week or so ago?
No.
Where they basically said you wouldn't be anywhere without us. And he was like, well, you're just riding my coattails. And it's like, oh, God.
I bet they're loving it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
So, Darby Allin versus MJF.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a build-up to this one. Mm-hmm. I don't fully remember where it started, though. I remember him...
It's been long.
Was it MJF? Oh, I think MJF was in the ring and he was saying, I've beaten everybody, and then out comes Darby Allin. And then I think he set Wardlow on him. And he said that, I'm going to break you mentally.
Yeah.
And they beat him down, they put a massive hurt on him, and he was away for a couple of weeks. And then they started trying to go after Sting. Mm-hmm. And then there was that whole... MJF sort of started the Sting's music off and he faked everyone out.
Yeah.
Then you had Darby Allin video show up and it was like MJF's face printed out with eye holes poked through it. And then these people started coming on the stage with Sting dressed like that, with this mask of MJF with the eye holes poked out. And then through the crowd you see Darby Allin, and then they start brawling, and I think that was either last week or the week before on Dynamite. We've caught up in a few weeks recently, in the last couple of days, so it's a bit of a blur. But that side, like the mental games with this, some of the comments that MJF has been making has been brutal.
Yeah.
Like saying about Sting in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like even Jericho mentioned that might have gone a bit too far.
Yeah, he's not pulling any punches. No. But if your game is to break someone mentally,
you don't pull the punches.
Exactly. You gotta go for it.
So I mean, these Darby Allin's obviously a lot smaller than MJF. Uh-huh. He's much more of a flippy stuff kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
And MJF's more of a, well, I'm just going to punch you till you stop moving kind of guy.
I'm going to punch you and then get my friends to punch you and
and obviously, that's how he got put out. They had the guys in masks. They
which
all
was obviously
beat him up. Yeah, it was obviously the Pinnacle.
You could tell by the way they moved.
Yeah, Wardlow was there, and he was like, "That's clearly a Wardlow stance," you know.
And then MJF sauntering over like, "That's obviously MJF."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. There's been a bit of back and forth. There's been a lot of banter between the two in terms of, especially from MJF's side, and that's that. So, with that, then I don't see the Pinnacle being at ringside. I think Wardlow might be, but then Sting's going to be at ringside too.
Yeah.
So I can see them sort of going at each other a little bit, and then maybe disappearing in the back, leaving it to a 1-on-1. But then who wins the match? Who have you got?
Darby Allin. It might be wishful thinking, but I think it's time that MJF is put in his place.
What, Chris Jericho beating him wasn't putting him in his place?
Well, he clearly needs another go. Is it tough for you?
It is a tough one.
It is. I mean,
they've been building MJF quite a lot.
Yeah.
And if the title changes hands, the main championship, which we'll get to after, I can see MJF being a contender for that.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, I can't see him going, well, I'm going to have Kenny. Because that wouldn't make sense. Because you've got, I mean, yes, Adam Page has the Dark Order behind him, but Kenny has the Elite.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Pinnacle are anywhere near as good to take out the Elite.
No.
Let's be perfectly honest. You know, the Young Bucks at last Full Gear beat FTR for the titles.
Mm-hmm.
FTR didn't beat them again after that to win them back, you know. So the Elite are definitely the stronger faction.
Yes.
So again, a lot of this hinges on that title match, I think, and how we go from there, and that's the problem with it. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna go for Darby Allin as well. I think, partly wishful thinking, I guess.
Yeah, we just don't want to see MJF win.
But then I guess the only downside of that would be, would they let MJF lose 2 pay-per-views in a row?
Maybe.
You know.
Maybe.
Right, anyway. Right, next one up is the Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Chris Jericho, Santana and Ortiz versus Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and American Top Team.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, we've got Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, I hope I'm saying that right, and Jericho pulled a swerve on Dynamite this last week. They were like, right, well, 2 weeks ago, Ethan Page challenged Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship, and Sammy accepted on the grounds that if he won the match, then they would get to pick which members of American Top Team would be in the match. If Ethan Page won, Sammy Guevara would have to leave the Inner Circle for good. Sammy Guevara retained, he beat Ethan Page, and as a result, the Inner Circle were able to pick the combatants for American's Top Team. So he's there and he's like, oh, you're going to pick this guy, you pick that guy, you pick Paige Van Sant, and she's mouthing off, and Jericho turns around and went, no, I'm gonna pick you, you fat-faced dip bleep. Dan Lambert, the guy who is the first member of American Top Team, and he starts having a hissy fit and throwing his toys out the pram, and it's not going to go well for him. But yeah, the manager of American Top Team
who is
now in this match. He's not a fighter at all. So this is going to be interesting. I'm surprised this isn't some sort of street fight, or is it a street fight? It might be a street fight. Yeah, I think it is. A Minneapolis street fight.
I was going to say, because otherwise he could just not tag in and there wouldn't be a problem, but... I
forgot to put that on my notes, actually, so I'm going to put a street fight there. So the Inner Circle versus American Top Team Men in a street fight. There's been a lot of gang beatdowns and things like that over the last few weeks from American Top Team on the Inner Circle, and they're trying to sort of unsettle him. And to be fair, Dan Lambert has got some really good mic skills.
Oh yeah,
like he's brought us some really good comments.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
And then Jericho banters back straight off him.
Yeah,
you know, and what was it Paige Van Sant on Dynamite last week? Oh, I could take all of you at once. And Jericho's just like, that's a joke that writes itself. And it's just like, oh, and how does she deliver that with a straight face?
I know. Unless she didn't actually realise what she was saying as she said
One
it.
too many knocks to the head, do you think? In the octagon?
Just in the moment, and the words came out, and then it probably wasn't until Jericho made that comment that she's like...
And you can see Jericho trying to keep it together, and he was like, chuckling to himself. And he's like, oh, God.
That's good.
I'm wondering how much of this is scripted and how much of it isn't, because Jericho is one of the best.
I reckon Dan Lambert probably at least thinks about what he's going to say beforehand.
Yeah.
He might write some stuff out. I think the rest of it's probably unscripted, or at least only
reactionary.
vaguely foretell.
So this is going to be nothing more than a brawl. Let's be honest. There's some really big guys in this. There's a lot of elements in this which is just going to break down. Jericho's going to get his hands on Lambert and he's going to just brutalize him. But will that be enough for the Inner Circle to win?
I think so. I think Inner Circle are going to win.
Yeah? Yeah. I think it makes sense for them to win over the Outsiders.
Yes.
And I have to agree with that. I think the Inner Circle are going to...
Yeah. I mean, with a feud with Outsiders, it can't last too long, otherwise they stop being Outsiders, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And a pay-per-view is a great way to just put that full stop in it. I think.
Cool.
It's been fun. It's been good, and again, it's kicking down the doors. And I'd never heard of American Top Team before, so I still don't know really who they are or what they do. Apart from in that one video, they do handstands a lot.
It's I believe it's a UFC, an MMA training camp.
That makes sense. So
they take the top fighters, they train them up. Yeah. Although they make them the top fighters. Like Junior Dos Santos, I know that name. Yeah. I haven't heard of any other fighters there.
Cool. Yeah, so it's been a good run, and it might lead to more future relationships and stuff happening, but this would be a nice point to just end it.
Cap that off.
And it'll be a good match.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, another potential show stealer of the night, and this got really, really, really heated last week on Rampage. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. My God, this has gotten heated.
Things are getting personal.
And this has apparently come from a true thing that happened. Okay. So an anonymous wrestler who was in IWA Mid-South at the time, legitimately was in the room when CM Punk went off on people like Eddie Kingston saying, "You're fat, you're lazy, you're never going to make it, you need to get better."
Yeah.
Because CM Punk, love him or hate him, he can go. He is heralded as one of the best in the world. His slogan is the best in the world, and there's, you look at what he's done, and okay, so he had some sort of, I think it was like 432 days or 434 days title reign in WWE. Roman Reigns has hit that now, and he's surpassed that. I think they've done it on purpose, much like they did with the New Day and Demolition after Demolition filed a lawsuit against WWE. New Day are now the longest ever reigning tag team champions. CM Punk defended that title on at least a bi-weekly basis. Yeah. Roman Reigns has defended his maybe 7 times in the last year. Doesn't really count. It's not the same. So Roman is being, oh, well, I'm the head of the table, blah, blah, and I've got this massive run. But, well, you're not really defending it like CM Punk did. So, and Roman Reigns at one point, when Punk was rumoured to hit AEW, said that he can't draw anyway. But yet, he pulled Dynamite's ratings on Rampage up. Dynamite hit 1.3 million viewers. Last week's Raw hit 1.3 million viewers.
Got it. You are getting into the AEW versus WWE stuff.
But what I'm getting into, though, is that CM Punk, love him or hate him, he is literally a ratings draw. He is a draw. He is one of the best in the world, and he has been for it. He might have had 7 years off, and Eddie Kingston made light of that. Yeah. And that's when CM Punk just headbutted him. Yeah. But the point is that this CM Punk is a great talent. He can go still after 7 years off. Like, what the hell? And he is always going to be heralded as one of the best in the world. If there was an overall Wrestling Hall of Fame, he would be one of the people there. You know, people talk about their Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and I think that CM Punk definitely deserves to be in that conversation. You know, and Eddie Kingston, he's not your typical wrestler. No. He's not buff. He's not chiseled. He might not be in the best ring shape. He might have a bit of extra poundage on him. But he is bloody entertaining to watch. Oh, yeah. Especially on the mic. And that between him and Kingston on Rampage last week, when they were going at each other, my God, that was so fun.
It was really good. They're pulling no punches, and it's believable. It's so believable. Yeah. I guess that's partly because
it's come from a place of reality,
real stuff. CM Punk mentioned that something about it being from an imagined slight many years ago, and I did wonder what that was. So. Interesting to know.
It's quite nice that whoever this anonymous wrestler is came forward and was like, hey, yeah, this actually happened.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
I think that's pretty cool. And they obviously name drop people like Samoa Joe in there. They didn't name drop someone else, but I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I think that and this just the fight, when they started beating each other up, and I say Punk just smacked him with a headbutt and started going nuts. I mean, Kingston's fighting back. And this isn't going to be technical. This isn't going to be pretty. This is just going to be just a brawl.
Yes, definitely.
But is Punk a brawler? He's more of a technical guy. Kingston is definitely a brawler.
I mean, he throws a good headbutt.
Oh, yeah, I'll give him that. But if you put him in a fight with someone like Kingston, who is a natural brawler, and he can't get his technical stuff in, is that a disadvantage?
He'd need to get in there quick, get holds in, so that you can't get that brawling in. But at the same time then, if Kingston might be in a disadvantage, if CM Punk can get that technical stuff in, then he won't be able to get any brawling in, so then he's at a disadvantage.
True, yeah,
true. So it's that clash of styles.
Yeah. But I think that I can see this literally going, CM Punk will come out, he'll do his clobbering time, he'll go to the ring, Kingston's music will hit, and he'll just beeline straight for the ring and just start swinging just as soon as he hits that ring.
But I reckon CM Punk will be ready for it.
Oh yeah, he'd be absolutely ready, and that's obviously where he's got the high ground.
Yeah.
But just obviously we've seen the last Dynamite and last Rampage from last night where they've recapped it, and they just, as soon as they're in the vicinity, they kind of and they're going for each other, and it's like the energy, that spark, and this again, and I've thrown in sort of a couple of times, but this could be the event, the thing of the night, you know, and I'm looking forward to this one. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, it could be good. I think it's another tough one to call.
Yeah.
Because if Eddie Kingston winning would be sort of a win for the atypical wrestlers and the people like us who aren't like in ring shape. We don't work out. We're not like massively fit, but the sort of ordinary people can do great things sort of vein. And also sort of proving himself that he does work and he is in the business for the business and to be a worker and win matches and put on a good show. But at the same time then, I think CM Punk winning would be a huge crowd pleaser probably. But I don't know, because the crowd I felt the crowd were on Kingston's side when they were...
Yeah, that speech he gave really fired that crowd up on his side.
Yeah.
They were pretty much dead heat down the middle.
It was like almost, you couldn't tell that it was two sides of the crowd chanting, because it was exactly the same volume for part of it. I think this could go either way, but I think I'm going to say Eddie Kingston to win.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was, the start of when we started talking about the match, I was like, oh, CM Punk will win. But then the more I thought about it, I feel like it could really go Kingston's way, and it would be great for the story, I think.
Okay, the way I see it...
Yeah, you're going to say the exact opposite.
I'm going to say CM Punk's going to win.
Uh-huh.
But, okay, I can see this going that it's not, he's going to hit the GTS, he's going to pin in 1, 2, 3, right?
Uh-huh.
It'll be a massive brawl. They'll both be just absolutely wrecked by the end of this. Punk will get the Anaconda Vice on. Mm-hmm. Kingston won't tap out. It'll be a referee stoppage.
Yeah.
Kingston technically doesn't lose.
Yeah.
Doesn't tap out. Doesn't lose. And Punk's like, damn, I was wrong.
Because that's where the sort of this main part of this feud has started. Because Kingston got knocked out. Was going to the back while CM Punk was having an interview, yelling, why did they ring the bell and didn't tap out? Yeah. So that would actually be quite... I
can't remember, was that against Bryan?
I think it was against...
Because he kept flipping giving the middle finger, because I think he had him in that... That's right, he had a triangle choke.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just flipped the finger, and he just kind of dropped, and the ref was like, ring the bell.
Yeah, so that would actually be quite almost poetic. But...
I can see it doing that.
Yeah.
I can see that. So Kingston remains strong because he didn't tap out, he didn't give up, he didn't get pinned.
And then CM Punk maybe has some respect for him.
And then like on the next Dynamite, he's like, okay, you know what? I was wrong, Kingston. You have my respect. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And then Kingston will be like, I don't want your respect, and then beats the pulp into him.
Or just, I don't need your respect, whatever, stay out of my way, something like that. Yeah. And then, because I don't want to see this go down like and another match, and another match, and another match. Enough. I'd rather see them move on to others, and that seems to be the way they're going with Punk. It's like, he fights one guy, he fights a different guy, he fights a different one, and it carries on that way. And it's the same with Bryan Danielson. He's fought one guy, he's fought another, and it seems to be doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep them going, it's CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston, 27. Don't go down that WWE route, I hate it.
Yeah. Cool, fair enough.
Okay, and speaking of constantly fighting each other, here we go. So, the unlikely team-up is what the announcers keep calling it.
And it's not wrong.
No. The unlikely team-up of Cody, Rhodes, and Pac is
Yeah.
what they keep calling it. How is Andrade El Idolo and Malakai Black not an unlikely team-up?
I know.
I don't quite understand that one.
They're both unlikely team-ups.
Like,
But it's weird that it seems to be just accepted.
yeah. Yeah, so that's the next match, is Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade El Idolo and Malakai Black. Just to get this done out the way, Malakai Black has said in, I think it was an interview or something that released recently, in the next few weeks or months, there is going to be changes to his character. And then on, was it Dynamite last week? He cut that promo saying that the house always wins. And it was a very big insinuation of, it's not just me.
Yeah. He's going to get a faction. So I guess that's where...
What if...
Andrade comes in.
Nope.
No?
What if Wyndham Rotunda comes in?
Yeah, that would be good.
FKA Bray Wyatt. And his brother, whose name I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Bo Dallas, as the Cult of Wyndham, folded into the House of Black.
Yeah.
And like, there has been a thing recently of, well, Bray Wyatt's going to Hollywood, he's doing a film and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. It's one day, one appearance, and then you can go back to Hollywood and then travel back to Dynamite if you need it.
Yeah.
You know, and Dynamite and Rampage, I believe, are filmed on the same day, so you could even do. So, with that, are we going to see more of the House of Black tonight? I hope so. It's no rumor. I'm not going to die. Malakai Black is one of my all-time favorites. It's as simple as that. He's so good. Since coming to AEW, he has crushed it. Absolutely crushed it with everything. His presentation, his work, his in-ring work. It's just fantastic.
So could it be... Because it's the Andrade stuff. I don't quite get how his bit matches with Malakai's.
I think the only reason that, if I remember rightly, Andrade was fighting Cody.
Yeah.
And... and obviously Malakai still got heat with Cody. So he turned up to help, to help beat down Cody, basically. And then Pat come in, who's had a bit of a feud with Andrade.
Okay.
And I think it's just kind of escalated from there.
So it's basically like an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
So then, if maybe the Wyndham guys do come in, then Andrade would be like, this wasn't part of the arrangement sort of thing. And that would help that.
So you could even do... Andrade seems to have a services pact with MJF and the Pinnacle.
Yeah. I don't... MJF taking his money? That doesn't seem right. But
Yeah,
that's
I know.
another thing.
Well, it's MJF, he's a greedy bitch.
I thought he was rich anyway.
Money begets money.
Yeah.
If you're fully rich, does that mean you don't want money anymore?
I feel like, I don't know, it's a whole different thing anyway.
But with that, who's to say, let's say, you know, Cult of Wyndham show up, where the both Rotunda brothers turn up, and then as you say, Andrade's like, well, this wasn't part of the deal. Well, I'm changing the deal. And they all just beat down on Andrade.
Pray I don't change it further.
Yeah, but then you could have that happen, and then he's like, well, I want to borrow FTR again. Here's some more money. And then you'd have FTR and Andrade versus the House of Black. And you could kind of spin it into that. Because the weird thing is that since Andrade has been sort of helping Malakai Black, he's been getting cheered. And Cody's been getting booed.
Yes.
And so has Pac. Because everybody loves Malakai Black. Everybody wants the House of Black to win.
Yeah.
And the house should always win.
So are they gonna win?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, I mean...
I'm definitely putting mine down on that.
I think that, obviously, Cody's been... They've been sort of trying to turn it into... Cody's turning dark so that he can beat Black. But I think that for that to pay off, it would need to be a one-on-one.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Arn Anderson's Glock.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna just shoot the man.
Oh, that was a great promo by Arn, but goddamn.
It's just blown up.
If you haven't seen that, pause this video, open a new window, do a search for Arn Anderson Glock promo.
It's good. It's good.
And
and it's been referenced many times.
I've forgotten how good Arn
memes
Anderson was at promos.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, because he's
It's
been
great.
kind of... Cody's been the mouthpiece.
But they've been doing the whole, like, the burning the suit stuff. That was just... It's great.
That's an expensive suit. And he just smacks him and he's like, burn it! It's like, God, alright. Like, if I've got Arn Anderson telling me to burn something, I'm throwing that in the damn fire. You
definitely.
know? That man is intimidating.
But yeah, House of Black to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they'll probably have a one-on-one where Cody probably beat him, maybe.
But again, I kind of hope not, because as
in.
it stands, we've had 3 matches between Cody and Malakai.
Yeah.
And the third one shouldn't have even happened because Malakai beat him twice in a row.
True.
So, as it stands, if they want to go for a best-of series, that's another 2 matches.
So what if instead of trying to fight him, because he's obviously building up this darkness and they're trying to take Black out, what if instead of fighting him, he turns so dark that he joins him?
That'd be great. The American Nightmare becomes a member of the House of Black. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd be down
Probably
for that.
won't happen, but it would be cool.
He has said he's never going to turn heel. In a recent interview, he doesn't... Cody has said in, literally, I read it this morning, a recent interview, that he probably only has about 3 years left in full-time wrestling. As in ring.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting any younger, and he feels that that's probably the most he can give his best. Which, you know, fair enough. Kudos to him for realising that and saying, look, I'm going to probably say about 3 years.
Yeah.
And he'd probably sit behind the scenes, become a producer, become an agent or whatever. He's already EVP, but yeah, who's to say that... Because Malakai isn't a heel, as you say. No. Everyone's cheering for Malakai.
Yeah.
So, and I think even Malakai said that, didn't he? I think he said that in choosing to try and beat me, you turned yourself into the thing you do not want to become.
Yeah. People are booing Cody.
Don't want you.
Yeah.
The fans hate you and they're booing you. And that's basically what's happening. So, by, as you say, turning dark, flipping it, who's to say he doesn't attack Arn Anderson at some point?
He's had enough of it.
Yeah. Screw you, Malakai, show me the way. Joins the House of Black.
It could happen.
And then you could have the House of Black versus Dark Order. Just get loads of members in that House of Black. House of Black versus Dark Order.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I like it.
Okay.
We're the only dark, sinister cult in this business.
Okay, so onto the title matches now then. So the first one I've got listed here is the Lucha Brothers. So that's Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Now, this kind of spanned off from Andrade maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that he had a luchador team who was coming in to AEW to beat the Lucha Bros for the AAA Tag Team titles, which Lucha Bros held for some, was it 2 years, 28 months, I think it was?
Something like that.
I think it was something like that. It's quite a long stretch. So they come down and they're dressed in green and they're super frogs or something, I think it translated as. It was some really stupid name. But they come down and they're standing there and it's like, that's FTR.
Yeah, you could tell.
It was obvious.
Had the Lucha masks
it was
on.
obvious. They get the mask ripped off in the middle of the match and Lucha was like, what the hell? And FTR sort of take advantage of it. There's some foul play and FTR hit Rey Fenix, one of the FTR, I can't remember which one, I think it was Cash. Slams him in the face as he's doing like a moonsault off the top, just knocks him out, pins him 1, 2, 3, wins the AAA Tag Team titles. So you've technically got the AEW Tag Team Champions versus the AAA Tag Team Champions in FTR. Now, both teams are great.
Yes.
You know, FTR are very hard hitting. They're no flips, just fists was the gimmick in NXT, and they haven't really said that, but that's still the kind of thing that they live by.
Yeah.
Lucha Bros are definitely more flips, less fists.
Yes. And they are so good.
Yeah, like that tag team match in the steel cage with the Young Bucks, that was phenomenal.
But FTR have already shown they can beat them and for championships, which makes this a very interesting match.
Yes. And it's a shame it's not winner takes all. It's a shame the AAA tag team titles are on the line now, because I think that would make it harder to call. As it stands, I know who I think are going to win. And there's not really much else you can say about this. So Tully's obviously going to be the ringside.
Yeah.
The guy, I always forget his name, who with the Lucha Bros is an interpreter. He's going to be at ringside, but he's not a wrestler. Tully could just spark him out easy, no problem.
Yeah, easy.
There's probably going to be shenanigans because it's FTR.
If FTR win, it's gonna light a fire under a lot of people, I think, because no one wants to see that. They've already taken the AAA, even though they're not actually lucha wrestlers.
Yeah. And
they beat another team in a championship match for that, didn't they? Afterwards.
Well, the AAA one, yeah. They had God,
I can't remember the name of the team.
Aerostar and Samurai something. Samurai Del Sol?
Yes.
Who is the former
right.
Kalisto from WWE.
Yeah, so they're not Lucha wrestlers. They've beat 2 Lucha teams to retain this title. So they've shown that they can do it. They can hang with the Lucha guys. If they take the AEW championships as well, it's going to put a target on them, which could be interesting. I don't know. It's tricky because I don't want them to win.
Imagine they do win it.
I want the Lucha Brothers to get the Triple A's back.
Imagine they do win it. How insufferable would MJF and the Pinnacle be?
I know, right? I don't want it to happen, but part of me feels like that's sort of the way the storyline is going. And that it would end up sparking rematch, and maybe they would have a winner-takes-all thing after, maybe. I don't know. I want the Lucha Bros to win.
But who do you think are going to win?
I have an awful feeling FTR are going to win.
Final choice?
Yeah.
FTR? Okay. I think the opposite. I think Lucha Bros are going to retain. They've had the belts for a month. They beat the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
true. They lost the AAA Tag Team titles, which kind of... If you're walking around with 2 title belts, it makes the championship for AEW seem a bit less.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I see what you mean.
That's why Kenny doesn't carry the AAA anymore, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because he's still AAA champion. As far as I know, I haven't seen anything about him losing it. But I feel that having the belts on 2 separate guys, you can still elevate FTR because, we're AAA tag team champions.
Yeah.
You can't take that from us. We beat you for it. They might not win the AEW titles, but that doesn't mean they don't have the AAA to fall back on anymore.
True.
Because they're still champions.
I suppose it does then open doors for other Lucha teams to come into AEW to challenge, and for FTR to go to other companies to answer challenges. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be good.
I think it's gonna be a good match. Not as good as last month's last pay-per-view event with Young Bucks, but that's the Young Bucks. It's the Elite. So, next up, we've got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending her AEW Women's Championship against Ty Conti. Technically of Dark Order? Technically not.
She is Dark Order.
She's not officially listed as Dark Order.
Oh.
Only Anna Jay's. The Anna Jay's the only woman listed as Dark Order.
Okay.
Number
She's
99.
just best friends with them.
Yeah. This is not really come out of nowhere, but it hasn't really had much of a build up.
No.
But I'm quite excited for this because Britt Baker's good. She can go. Ty Conti can absolutely go.
Yeah.
And she's finally getting that pushed to the stage where she can show what she's capable of. And I really want to see her just take that ball and run with it so hard. Whether or not Anna Jay gets involved because of Britt, Rebel and Jimmy Hayter, I think they will. There's scope for -1 to show up.
Yeah.
And sort of be like, hey, come on, Tay, and that lights a fire under her, and she's like, yeah, come on, let's go. And that might empower her with that.
Yeah.
But there's not really much else I can say about this, because as I said, there's not really much of a build-up. So they had Ty Conti beat down Britt Baker on Dynamite 2 weeks ago, and she held up the belt, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's not really been much of a thing.
How long has Britt Baker had the title?
Since she beat Hikaru Shida, that was, I want to say, at Double or Nothing. So that was May.
Okay. Yeah, it's
so
been
it's
a
6
while.
months.
And she's defended it. And I know she has got her lackeys that will interfere when they can.
Yeah, but then Anna Jay could be the equaliser. But then the problem with that is they've still got this ongoing rivalry with Penelope Ford and the Bunny.
Yeah.
So they might also get involved. You know? So there's a lot of different factors that could come into play in this one.
Yeah.
But who's to say the factors, because Jimmy Hayter and Rebel aren't Penelope Ford and the Bunny, who's to say they don't accidentally just bump each other and be like, oh, what are you doing? And then cost Britt Baker.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Very true.
And then that kind of sets a feud up between them two teams.
I really want Tay Conti to win.
Yeah, I do too.
Really, really want her to win.
I do too.
I love Britt Baker and her character, and she's awesome in the ring. But Tay Conti needs that spotlight right now.
I think so.
I think
she's
deserves
earned it. She's absolutely earned it.
I'm gonna say Tay Conti. I'm going for it. Doing it.
I think that of the 3 title matches, this is definitely the one where the champion is at most risk of losing the title.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to be wrong because I think they're still going to push Britt.
Okay.
But I'm going to also pick Ty Conti. Because I want to see Ty Conti just beat 7 pounds up.
Sometimes you just have to say the one that you want to win.
I think Britt Baker was better chasing the title than she has been holding the title.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the champ, you can't take it from me. That's it. Whereas some of the promos she was cutting before she was champion were a lot harder edged. They were a lot more in depth. Mm-hmm. And I feel that those were the better moments of her career in AEW at the moment. Yeah. You know, that's what I feel.
Bring back the waiting room. Actually don't. Because then we'll have Rebels laugh again. Oh, God. Which is horrible.
And obviously she's been on about the TBS title and sort of crapping all over that a little bit. Who's to say that she doesn't lose this and get busted down to the TBS title instead? Well, I'm going to get this TBS title, blah, 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 and then she sort of injects herself somehow into this tournament.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that would be something she would do. Like Jamie Hayter is in the tournament. Mm-hmm. Who's to say, well, I'm taking your spot?
She gets injured backstage.
Mm-hmm. That's a possibility as well, you know?
Interesting.
Okay, and that leads us on to the final match, is the main event. The Cleaner. The best bout machine, the best wrestler in the world, PWI's #1 rated wrestler for 2021, Kenny Omega, the AEW champion. Mm-hmm. I'm not biased, what are you on about? Versus the drunk Hangman Adam Page. I'm not biased, what are you on about?
He's not a drunk.
He is a drunk.
He just likes a drink. It's different.
So yeah, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page. This has been something that's been building for a while. They did have a match in the last tournament last year, the Full Gear tournament finals. So this is pretty much a rematch from last year. Yeah. But with the title on the line instead.
This is probably the one where we're going to be the most opposite, I think.
Kenny won that tournament last year. He went on to fight John Moxley and he won the title and he's held it ever since. That's nearly a year ago that he's held that title. Hangman Adam Page recently has had quite a few months off. He had a newborn with his wife. Congratulations to Adam Page, you know, fantastic, amazing. But he came back as a Joker entry in that ladder match on Dynamite for the anniversary at the end of September. That's been the only match since he's come back. It was a multi-person match. I feel that he might have some ring rust.
Maybe.
I feel that he's not ready. Okay. He's not ready for the title. Okay. That's my... I just don't think his promos are strong enough. Okay. His in-ring work is decent, but it's not Kenny. His mic work is okay, but he's not Kenny. As a spokesperson, as a head of a company, do you want someone who's okay, or do you want the best bout machine, Kenny Omega?
I think you've got rose-tinted glasses for Kenny Omega.
I think Kenny is the best champion in place right now.
He's great, but he can't stay champion forever.
Nobody can still stay champion for a bit longer. Adam Page has had like 4, 5, 6 months off, wherever it is, and he comes into a title match. No, mate. No. You've got to earn that spot.
He's earned it.
How?
By...
Yes? Dressing up as Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That was good. That was so good.
That was good. That was good. But no.
He's been setting the Dark Order straight, getting them back together.
No, he didn't. That was -1.
You did it too. No, -1 didn't.
-1 and Amanda Huber came out when they were having that massive 16-man tag match. And they set the Dark Order straight. Because Evil Uno and Reynolds was trying to walk out. And Huber came out and she was like, do it for John. Do it for Brody Lee. Get back in that ring. Yeah. She put the Dark Order straight. Not Hangman Page.
He's been
That was before Hangman returned.
He's been helping.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's fine.
No.
I think Hangman's going to win. I'm going to say it. I don't care.
Kenny all the way.
I think you are biased and you're letting that get in the way.
You know what I think I am? I am elite. That's what I think. But then, in that case...
Cowboy shiznit.
Your predictions work because Miro against Adam Page is a better mix than Miro and Kenny.
See, logic.
And Bryan Danielson against Kenny Omega is a better fit than Bryan Danielson against Adam Page.
Yeah, so we match our own predictions.
But I still think Adam Page isn't ready for it. I don't think he's getting there. I think he'd be better suited going for the TNT title.
Yeah, maybe.
Get that interim title first. prove that you can run with that, and then elevate to the championship.
I mean, I guess if he doesn't win this, it's gonna, I think, catapult him into a good run of matches, working his way up. So even if he doesn't win, I think it's gonna be good for him.
Yeah, I agree. Like, oh, well, I can't beat Kenny, I need to get better. What can I do? Challenge everyone. Adam Page versus CM Punk, imagine that. Oof. Adam Page against Bryan Danielson in like an exhibition style match. That would be great. You know? And then we'd have, because the way they're building this one with Bryan Danielson, I think Bryan Danielson was always going to beat Moxley. Because Moxley was obviously going to go to the finals.
Yeah.
And then who had a 30-minute draw on Dynamite in his first Dynamite match? Who was it with?
My memory's shocking.
Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
What have people been clambering for since that match?
A rematch.
Bingo.
No.
How do you make that match higher stakes?
Championship.
Bingo. There we go.
School, apparently.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. You know? I like Adam Page, don't get me wrong. I think he's great. But I don't think he's ready for it.
Maybe I'm biased because I want to go against you and you're the elite fetish.
It's not fetish, it's a lifestyle. Being elite is a lifestyle, Leanne.
It's such a good team, but it's just funny to disagree with you when it's about those guys.
Right, well, that about wraps that up.
Ooh. You're gonna have fisticuffs.
You're gonna have a super kick in a minute. You're gonna super kick you. So yeah, so let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we're right? Do you think we're wrong? Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna lose? Where do you see the House of Black going? Do you see the Elite continuing their strongness of that? And inadvertently, I just looked at this and I've got the Super Click and Kenny Omega winning. That's a full sweep for the Elite again.
See what I mean? Undisputed champion Kenny Omega. Yeah, so we will post our reaction video most likely tomorrow after we watch the event. We hope you enjoy it if you do watch it. Obviously, we wouldn't encourage you to watch the reactions video before watching the event. Watch the event first, then watch the reaction videos when we upload that. Yeah.
In terms of being notified when the video is uploaded, if you hit subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell, you'll be notified of when we upload new videos. We appreciate everyone who watched these videos. Everyone who subscribed to us in the last couple of weeks. Our subscriber count has increased quite a bit. Thank you to everyone who has done that. But yeah, that being said, we will catch you after Full Gear. We hope you enjoy. I think we definitely going to enjoy.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, have fun. See you next time.
Bye-bye.